Let's first talk about those two bills that your House will be voting on, the Senate. I know that these are not bills your party brought, but let's face it, even if these bills pass, which they will with Republicans, it won't get anywhere. It's going to die because the House will not take this up. So we're all focused on what is going to happen with these talks between Nancy Pelosi and Mnuchin. What's your best read of whether or not we're likely to see something done before the election?
Well, you're exactly right in regards to the votes on the Senate floor. They're not helpful. We look at them as cover votes for Republicans rather than trying to get a bill that will be signed by the president. Remember, the Republican leadership is supporting a bill that's less than 1/3 of what the president is now calling for. And it's not a bipartisan bill. It has no chance of being enacted. We are very much interested in getting a bill done. It's desperately needed. We need the next round of COVID relief. Democrats, and I hope Republicans, want to get to the finish line. So we're rooting for the negotiations between Secretary Mnuchin and Speaker Pelosi. That's the only way we're going to get a bipartisan bill. That's the only way we're going to get the relief done before this election. It's not going to happen as a result of the action being taken by Leader McConnell today in the Senate.
I would say there's plenty of blame to go around on both sides, and that average Americans are probably getting pretty frustrated to see politics played out and that to take priority over what's happening in their lives. You've got to hear from a lot of small business owners. As the ranking member on the Senate Small Business Committee, what is happening and why can't something get done? Why is there no compromise?
Well, it's certainly not because of the small business provisions. Senator Rubio, the Republican chair of the committee, I'm the ranking Democrat. We can reach an agreement on small business provisions. That's not the issue. The issue seems to be the broader issues related to aid to state and local government, related to how we're going to handle our school aid, unemployment insurance. Some of the other issues appear to be, and the size of the package appears to be the major issues that are in disagreement. But in regards to small businesses, they needed more relief months ago. The original CARES Act, which was bipartisan, really helped small businesses, not just the PPP program, but the EIDL program, the loan forgiveness program. All those were critically important. And we need a second round of relief for small businesses. And we need to target it to those small businesses that desperately need the help, particularly those in the underbanked, underserved communities. We need to get that done. And I am convinced that we can get that done if there's a broader agreement on the size of the package.
Here, and frankly, help me try to understand what really is at play here and where the differences are. For so long, it was about the numbers, is what we heard, that there was just such a divergence in numbers. Now we hear it's actually ultimately about values. It's about the language of what this bill looks like. And you just rattled off a list of issues and parts of that bill where you think there are distinctions. And it's not just one or two, but it sounds like many. Can you just speak in a very plain way so we understand what those distinctions are? Because I think as the viewers look at it, some people say, well, why don't they just do various skinny deals then as quickly as they can where they agree? There's others that say, obviously, the Democrats and Pelosi have said we need a much bigger bill. The president has now said we also need a bigger bill. So explain the distinctions if you could.
Well, first, a small bill won't deal with the issue. Small businesses are not going to be able to get back on track unless we deal with getting COVID-19 under control, unless people who are unemployed have income so they can be consumers, unless we have our schools that can open safely in either in-classroom instruction or virtual or hybrid. So all this is interconnected. That's why we need a major comprehensive second round of relief for COVID-19. The differences are first the size, and I think that can be resolved. But yes, language makes a difference. There are certain areas that are considered to be poison pills, and we need an agreement between Secretary Mnuchin and Speaker Pelosi as to how those policy issues need to be developed so that we don't get into an agreement on the size of the package, but we can't agree on the language. That's what they're working on now in several areas. We know some of them have been reported publicly as to the differences in regards to the help for American families, as it relates to safety in the workplace, as it relates to those types of issues. And the Secretary and Speaker can agree on the parameters of that, I am confident that the negotiators could put together a package, a complete package, within a week.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.